If I was better at this, I would have framed this video in a completely different way. First of all, I would have kind of created a narrative about how this was an incredibly important trip and the van was basically untested and not finished, but I had a huge project that was 2 months in the making and everything needed to work. And then I would have framed the video from like, is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna happen? And look how busy I am. And then have a nice satisfying conclusion about how it all worked out. Yeah, I didn't do any of that. Let me back up. So in early December, a PR guy reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do a behind the scenes story on the Super Bowl, to which of course I said yes. The problem is, while they were offering to put me up in a hotel, that's not allowed with CNET, which makes sense. There's a journalistic integrity aspect to that. It's like I can't be given something by a corporation that I'm covering. That doesn't make any sense. But as you can imagine, the hotels in the Phoenix area where the Super Bowl is going to be thousands of dollars a night. So there was just no way to do that cost effectively. But I had been planning on building out the van and doing the van since last summer, I'd say. I started kind of really focusing on the idea and narrowing down what type of van I wanted and so forth. This project just kind of accelerated the process. So I needed to get the van in December, get it to a minimal working condition, and then hopefully spend 4 or 5 days in the van. So if you've been watching my videos all the way along, obviously that's exactly what happened. I got the van, I started kitting it out, and last week, and probably the last video you watched, I did a test run to Pinnacles National Park, just to see if it was gonna work. And it did, and I needed to make a few adjustments, which is what I did for the week leading up to this week that just passed. I'm saying weeks, it doesn't matter, you're watching this in the future, it's fine. Anyway, so the main things that I needed to get some lighting in there, I needed to get some way to recharge things, and then heat was another issue because the weather here, all despite the sun you're seeing, at night it gets very cold. It was a little warmer here than it was at Pinnacles, but not by much. So I got the lighting done, I got the power thing more or less done, and I bought a little DC powered space heater. And it was one of the better reviewed one online, but that's not saying much. I think the problem is that people were expecting too much out of one of these things. It's not a lot of power. I mean, with 12 volts, there's only so much power you can really get out of one of these things. I mean, 12 volts, let's say conservatively, 10 amps, that's 120 watts. Like, that's not a lot. You know, the types of space heaters you have in your home are going to be hundreds of watts. But I figured if it could raise the temperature 10 or 20 degrees, that was more than enough. And it did, it absolutely did that. It felt fairly safe because you could still touch it. Like, it was only maybe, yeah, like 10 or 20 degrees warmer than ambient, but that was enough to heat up the little van. And the project went fantastic. I will leave a link below to the behind the scenes stuff. The story I did for CNET, I think came out really well, and I will add in a bunch of some of the videos that I shot that I can share while I'm talking. that all worked out great. And I was obviously pretty worried about it because this was a big project. This was, as I said, months in the making and very time sensitive, obviously, because I only had 2 days to shoot and everything, and then a day basically to edit all the photos and write it. It was a much faster timeline than I'm used to and that I really like doing. But I got it done. And the van was a huge success. I added a piece of foam for the bed. That worked out pretty well. The lighting worked great. That was a game changer. The desk that I built worked pretty well. I have a few little tweaks on that I'm gonna do. The batteries worked really well. I was running the heater for quite a while at night. I had a little electric blanket that worked really well, plus the lights, plus charging everything. I think the lowest I got was 65% on the batteries. And then by, I mean, obviously that doesn't charge overnight, but by the time the next night rolled around, just with solar, I think I got maybe another 15%, 20% back. And then driving it, so the DC to DC charger that I bought is 20 amps, so it's putting in tons of power just by driving. So I think I drove to dinner last night, and it was maybe an hour round trip, and I put in probably 10% just from that. So that's great. So that's the most of it. And I've been breaking these down into phases. So I've got like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 1 was just getting it working at all. Success. Phase 2 was these other steps, you know, putting the DC to DC charger in. And then phase 3 is making it kind of cool looking. And I have a few things I want to do for that on the inside and the outside, just make it nicer looking and kind of streamline everything. Another aspect I want to figure out is a little better storage, because, you know, in transit, the van looks fine. But after sleeping in it for a day or two, there's stuff everywhere, because there's not a good place to put everything once it's in night mode. I have a few ideas for that. I think I can work that out. But that's the gist of it. I'm headed home today. I was hoping to go down to Seguro National Park today, but that would mean I'm driving on Sunday. I have a little work to do. I want to do before the week starts. Plus, that would mean I would miss the game, and I obviously now I'm invested. I want to see what happens, and I want to see the stadium and from the perspective of the people that I was talking to and so forth. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video before I left here because it felt weird to do this big thing that was such a crucial part of the van build and why I had done everything so quickly, and then not do a video on it. Oh, the name of the park here is White Tank Regional Park. White Tank Mountain Regional Park. And it's really cool, actually. Obviously, there's tons of cacti, and it's a nice little campground, hot showers, bathrooms were pretty clean. It was quiet, except for the coyotes at night that you could hear running around. That was pretty cool. There was one night where, so it's basically like a long road, and all the campsites are along that road. But there were people down by the toilets, and there were people farther up. But in my little area, there was maybe 6 campsites, and there was no one there, so I didn't have anyone like immediately around me. So it was like super quiet, and that was really neat. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna head home now. It's about a 6-hour drive. I think I'm gonna stop at a spot called the Salton Sea, and because it's something I've been fascinated with. It's in like kind of in a semi-abandoned area. It was an accidental lake, accidentally man-made lake, and I kind of want to see how that looks, so I'll stop there. I'm driving right past it, so I'll stop there on the way home. But that's it. You will join me there, I think, and I will wrap up the video after that. See you in a bit.
Things are moving fast, heading west on I-10, leaving Arizona. No catch, never looking back, but I think that I can see where I'm going. Suitcase living miles away, I haven't showered in days. Focus, ain't no time to waste, know enough to know if there's a chance and I'ma take it. Got me like, oh, we're living on a bread and pay the rent. How I've become aware I miss my bed. And even though crazy how I got here, but I wouldn't trade it. So rash, told her take the cash, but I won't sell my dreams. Watch me while I make it. Suitcase living miles away, still haven't showered in days. Focus, ain't no time to waste. Know enough to know if there's a chance, then I'ma take it. Got me like, oh, we're living on a bread to pay the rent. How I've become